Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Flatter Sage, and today I'm out here on one of the local trails, and today I'm going to be doing my top three list for the top three medicinal plants that you can forage for. And okay, so I'm going to start off with the third one and work my way up. So the third one, number three, is white birch. White birch is typically harvested for its bark, and it's known to help with headaches, stomach issues. Um, it's actually the Native Americans would use this as a painkiller, and basically, they would come in. And don't worry, this doesn't hurt the tree. Well, I don't have a container, but they would come in, dig a nice. This is only a small piece of it. Obviously, you need a lot more, but they would. Ooh, here we go. Here's a piece that was ready to be chipped off already. They would take this and they would, crumble it up and put it into a tea. And basically, that's where the medicinal compounds of it are. And for its identification purposes, you can usually the leaves of the white birch. You can usually tell it's usually kind of have like a ruffled design almost. You can see the spines are ribbed in this way, like this. The leaves are ovate, usually with a sharp point, as you can see. Oh, let me refocus. Well, as you can see from right there, the skin, the bark is nice and smooth, and also white, hence the name white birch. As you can see, I've been by here before, scraping off little bits of it. Um, and yeah, it's pretty easy plant to identify. Um, kind of has alternating leaves. Um, usually, they'll have a design. Usually, they'll form branches, and they'll be at first leaves of two, as you can see from right here. Then they'll work its way up towards the tip till it reaches three. And as you can see, it's pretty easy to, like I said, pretty easy to identify. Um, I live here in Virginia, and this particular area in Virginia, there is quite a few birch trees. I mean, white birch. There's one. There's another there. You got another over there. So that is number three on my list for medicinal plants and herbs. And if you walk with me a little bit more, I will show you the other two. And it's a nice day out here. Great day for a walk in the woods. As I said before in my previous videos, I believe everyone should be spending at least 30 minutes outdoors every day. Just be outside. You can be outside, listen to your music, you know, just hang out with friends and walk around, do whatever. Some more white birch. As long as you get that 30 minutes of fresh air and sunshine. Even if it's towards the end of the day and you only get a little bit of sunshine, it's better than none at all. Some more birch. That right there, I can't really, the leaves are so high up, I can't really tell what that tree is. I think this is maple. We got here. Of course, maple, you can always tell it's maple because you can cut into it. If you cut deep enough into it, you'll come across the sap, and it'll, kind of taste like maple syrup. But I don't have a sharp enough knife to go through it and pierce through the cambium layer of the bark to get to that sap. So we're going to have to skip that one for now. And in a few seconds, we'll be coming up to number 2. I do like this trail. It's a really nice trail over here. Right next to my apartment. And some kind-hearted individual made this lay down these sticks and logs, make a little makeshift bridge. Kind of cool. And here we go to number 2. Blackberries. As you can see, they're all over back there. Pinch off. Usually when I come through here, I like to pinch off the bad berries. Or the ones that I think aren't gonna produce that well. It's not harming the plant at all. It's actually helping them. So once they get those screwed up looking berries off the plant, then they can focus their energy elsewhere towards the actual good berries. But when these ripen up, these are an adequate source, a huge source of vitamin C, and also I believe vitamin D as well. It's rich in fiber. And it just tastes very good. And as a little honorable mention before we reach the number 1 plant, these right here, a lot of you probably already know what this is. That, I don't know why the name is slipping away from me right now. The honeysuckle, yes. Sorry, couldn't think of the name for a second there, but yes, this is the honeysuckle. I love just picking up one of them and just smelling it. It just smells so fragrant and good. So that is number 2. And we walk a little ways further. We can find the next one. Trying to see what that plant was. No, it's not what I thought it was. Ugh. Ah, here it is. And my number 1 favorite edible medicinal plant is the plantain. This is, my goodness, this is a huge piece of plantain. Usually where I see them, I don't really see them get this big, but man. Now, you can usually tell plantain leaf by a couple different ways. Number 1, it has this unusual rib design. You can see how it's set up right there. You can see it a little bit better in the back. It's ribbed in, this kind of way. Usually when it gets this big, it's kind of stringy. But again, this is 100% edible right here. Again, this is rich in fiber. This can help also with digestion issues and stomach problems, as well as the fact that it's just a good source of green all around. You can eat this as is. You can cook it, put it into a tea. It doesn't really matter. It's pretty much edible at any stage you see it growing. And this, if I remember correctly, this will grow in winter as well. So, although, like I said, actually, it's not really that stringy. I was expecting it to be a little bit more stringy, more bitter and tough. It is a little bit tough, very slightly, but the flavor is very mild. It's pleasant, and it's just really good. Also, on a side note, Native Americans would used to get cuts. They would wrap it around the affected area, or they would chew it and make it into like a poultice kind of stuff and put it on squeeze it onto the affected area, let it dry up, and it would actually help to heal up that cut a lot faster. So it's in a sense like a Band-Aid, a natural Band-Aid. So that's my number 1 favorite right there is the plantain leaf. Very nice. And these are all plants you can find very, very easily. Blackberries, they like to grow in areas with usually thick vegetation. That's usually where I've seen them growing a lot, like on the edge. Usually because blackberries, they're not exactly the most heat-tolerant plants. They will dry up very easily in the sun, and that's why they grow in those locations, because it offers kind of a partial shade for it. So look in areas on the edges of areas with dense to medium vegetation, and you should find them, especially if you're on the East Coast, around anywhere in or around Virginia, or anywhere on the East Coast, like I said. Plantains, I've never been to the West Coast before, but I imagine it's the same. These things grow everywhere. In fact, Native Americans used to say that everywhere the white man went, there would always be these plants. So these are super abundant pretty much anywhere. They can grow on your lawn. They can grow in the woods. They're suitable to poor soil conditions. So it's just an all-around great plant. And if you ever were in a survival situation and you needed something to eat, this would be perfect. It'd be perfect survival food for you. Also, the seeds contain a significant amount of silica in them, which is a trace mineral that your body needs. So that's cool too. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it for my top 3 list of top 3 wild edibles. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was at least a little bit informative for you guys. And I hope you guys go out there, find these plants, make sure to positively identify them. The plants that I've shown, probably with the exception of the Blackberry, is pretty easy to identify. So, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you all enjoyed this video. And I'm going to be signing off. Peace, guys.